Good afternoon or good evening, everybody. My name is Mark Krebs. I'm a gold qualified consultant with Team Sunset, part of Team Empire, Team World Explorer, and Team Rising Tide. Welcome to tonight's training on how to quote and sell tin leg insurance policies. I would first like to start off by asking how many of you already use tin leg for your travel insurance needs? Or how many of you are using the supplier insurance companies through providers such as Vax, Carnival, Royal Caribbean? So how many are using tin leg and how many are using the supplier insurance companies? So Carol says supplier, Robin says supplier, Sharon says both, Diana, supplier, tin leg. Quote, Shaylin says she's quoted, but mostly the supplier insurance. Okay. So I'm seeing a lot of supplier. So I'm going to talk to you guys tonight about why I feel that tin leg is the superior insurance to those supplier insurance policies. There are some differences between the supplier policies that we get versus what tin leg offers. One of those big differences is that you probably are not making commission on those insurance policies that you guys are selling through the suppliers. That's one of the big differences. I know that every time I have quoted a Princess cruise or a Carnival cruise and I've quoted it with their insurance, commission was never included on the insurance part of it. So you're losing out on money there. Number two, they only cover the cruise portion if you're doing it with a cruise. So they do not include the air portion or pre or post night hotels if you book those separately. They don't cover the excursions if you book those separately through companies such as Viator, Shore Excursions Group, Project Expedition, Get My Guide, any of those third-party sites that we use. Number three, you're going to find that the supplier insurance policies are actually providing less coverage to your clients for a higher dollar amount than what tin leg will actually provide to your clients. And number four, if there's ever a claim needed to be started, going through those supplier insurance policies can be a real hassle, while tin leg has a very streamlined process in order to get those claims rolling and get your clients paid out should there be a claim necessary. I know this for a fact because I have had to submit claims or start the claims process on behalf of clients in the past through tin leg. Now it is the client who has to submit the claim information, but we can guide them on how to do so and get them started going in the right direction to do that. So, and it's the same way with the supplier insurance. So there are pros and cons to using it. I mean, the pros are that it can be bundled right in. You don't, with the supplier, you don't have to make an extra charge on the client's credit card. But the cons, again, in my opinion, is that you're paying more money for less coverage. And that's why I wanted to talk to you guys about tin leg and how important it is. Tin leg is the only insurance provider for travel insurance that Archer Travel works with directly. We have a direct link to them. We have somebody in the office who specializes with them to handle all of our tin leg questions. It is Ryan in the Archer office. So we have a direct link between tin leg and us within Archer. We do get an affiliate link, Rebecca, so that's another advantage to Tinleg. So we get an affiliate link that we can actually send to our clients. And then if they book directly through Tinleg, we get the commission. Also, commission is 17% on all policies sold. And it is paid out the month after the policy has been paid for. So you're not waiting for that commission payment to come in after the trip has been taken. So let's say you purchased the policy for your client today, September 10th, it will actually be paid out in October. Okay, so no waiting, especially if your client's trip is not until like May of 2025, let's say. You're going to get that insurance commission payment right away, pretty much. So also, there are a lot of times that Archer, like it's every other month, Archer will run contests. And the top insurance seller through Tinleg will win a $250 giftogram from Archer, which is a virtual gift card good for anywhere. You can even convert it into a virtual Visa card if you wanted to and use it. Or you could get like a $250 Outback Steakhouse card or something like that, or split it up into different gift cards. And then additionally, two winners, every time you sell a policy with Tinleg, you get an entry into a raffle that they do. Every 5 Tinleg policies you sell gets you a bonus entry into that raffle. So let's say you sell 20 policies, you get 5 bonus entries. One of my business partners sold 52 policies one month, and she got 10 additional entries, plus her 52. So she had 62 entries and didn't win the raffle. That's how many policies Archer agents sold. So there's a chance to win every other month. Carol asked, how far in advance can you buy Tinleg for a cruise, etc.? The rule of thumb, Carol, is to purchase it within 14 days of booking the trip. And I will explain why here in just a little bit. Diana, I can answer that because I was working on this trip with her. This was actually a group booking that we had for a government agency in California going on a trip to the East Coast to see wind farms. And we highly suggested to them that in case any of their delegates needed to drop out for reasons, that they get the insurance policies to make sure that the county's money was able to be recouped. So, and we actually had 3 members of the delegation who needed to drop out for different reasons. And so the county actually received their money back under the cancellation policies. So, Edwin, I'm going to go over everything here in just a moment of how to get signed up with Tinleg and show you everything you guys need to know. So, okay. So, the supplier website for Tinleg is this. And I just put it into the chat. It's secure.tinleg.com/agent. Now, what you are going to need to do first, if you are not registered with Tinleg, is that you're going to need to send an email to this email address, tinleg@archertravel.com. Okay? So you're going to need to put your name, your preferred email address, and your agent ID. And all of this information is also in the back office under USA Suppliers and under Tinleg. Okay. So that is how you get signed up. Ryan at the office will set up your account and will send you an email with all your login information. He'll set up your username and he will set up a temporary password for you to log in with, and then you'll change it to a permanent password. Your username is going to be the email address that you have registered, and you want to use the one that you have registered with Archer. Shamina, there is a cutoff of 14 days prior to the trip. So, you can purchase the insurance and then you can actually add to the insurance, and the client would have to pay the difference on the additional cost of the trip. And then there really aren't parts that Tin Leg won't cover. They may not cover going to certain countries, but I haven't found that issue yet. So, I mean, obviously they're not going to cover a war zone. Okay, so like right now, Israel, they're not going to cover going there. So an active war zone, there's going to be a restriction on. But pretty much around the world is open for sale. So Tin Leg insurance applies to the entire trip. Flights, resorts, excursions, transfers, everything. So you would not need to purchase a separate Tin Leg policy for each flight. And yes, 14 days prior to departure on the trip. Carol, yes, if you booked your cruise last year, but you're only sailing next February, you can buy Tin Leg now. I will explain, there are some restrictions that are going to come into play with that, but I will explain that when we start doing a quote. So, okay, but can everybody see my screen, the Tin Leg dashboard that I have up? Okay, perfect. So this is your main dashboard. So you can see your reports, your sales by dates. You can access your travel agent account. This is your agent link right here that you can give to your clients. There are agent resources here that are going to answer a lot of your questions, your frequently asked questions. And then there are agent inquiries. Now, we do not contact Tin Leg directly unless we get specific authorization to do so from Ryan. Okay, all questions go through Ryan. And then the support email for Ryan is tinlegsupport@archertravel.com. Okay, so tinleg@archertravel.com is to get signed up, and any questions that you have needs to go to tinlegsupport@archertravel.com. And again, this is all in your travel cafe under USA Suppliers, and then click on Tin Leg and it has all of this information. So we're going to do a real-time quote here, guys. How many of you are going to convention? Or are thinking about going to convention next year? Okay, so Robin is, Carol is, Carla is, Sharon, perfect. Okay, so when you log into your back office under the convention tab, you notice how it says it is highly recommended that you purchase a third-party insurance. Okay, this would be Tin Leg, guys. Third party, Tin Leg. Okay, why not buy your own policy and get paid commission for it? Because Tin Leg is going to cover your flights, your hotels, your pre and post night hotels. Okay, it's going to cover your convention ticket because that's part of your trip. It's going to cover your cruise. If you're getting a rental car in Long Beach for whatever reason, it's going to cover that. Okay. But since we're going to Mexico, guys, a lot of health insurance companies are not going to cover international travel. I know mine won't, but Tin Leg does. Tin Leg covers just a flight ticket or just an excursion. They will cover as little or as much as you're booking. Okay? So we're going to do a real-time quote here. So if we go down here and click on the agent link, okay, this is how you're going to quote a policy. So now it's going to bring up this screen right here. And it is a simple series of questions. And this is real time here, guys. I'm quoting my own policy right now. What country are you a resident? U.S. resident. You can sell to non-U.S. residents as well. What state? Because every state has different laws. Tin Leg covers them all. Okay? How many you're going to put in how many travelers? You can have up to 10 on a quote. How old are the travelers as of today? 43 and 45. When do you leave home for your trip? And this is really important, okay? So I am actually going to be leaving home. Convention is the 22nd through the 29th, okay? I'm leaving home on the 21st because I want to go explore Long Beach, and I've got a friend who lives in the area. So I want to go see him. We get on the ship on the 24th, the travel trade show and the IATAN and travel booker ceremony and reception is the 23rd. Early bird registration is the 22nd. I want to be there for that. So 22nd. And then I'm coming home in the afternoon of the 29th. Okay. Should this quote include trip cancellation coverage? Always leave this as yes. Always. Because you never know what's going to happen. And if the policy needs to be canceled. Okay, guys? What is the cost of your trip? So you're going to quote this after you have quoted everything else. Okay, so I'm just going to do some quick math here. I'm going to take my calculator here and move this over so you guys can see my math. Because I've already kind of looked at flights. So I'm looking at 1,035 for flights, plus 149, plus 149. Because my tickets are 149 each, plus cruise is 987. Plus 987 because I'm getting a balcony for 2 people. I'm gonna figure my hotel room, my 2 nights in a hotel room at 350 equals. So we're gonna overquote this at 3,900. Okay, which is not bad for convention. So I always go a little bit higher when I'm estimating costs just to cover. And I always quote the total trip cost. When you have everything down and you have everything quoted out, you can use all of those numbers. So excursions, transfers, total trip package, everything to get that number. And it's going to be in whole numbers. When did you first make your booking? This is important, and I will show you why in just a minute. Okay, so we're going to say I first made my booking today. What is one country you are traveling to? This will also affect the cost of your insurance. And since we're going to Mexico on the cruise, we're going to put Mexico, and now you just click the quote now button. It's going to search for plans. It gives me 8 different plans, guys. This is the beauty of TinLeg. It gives you 8 different plans to look at for your client. Okay? It gives you a economy policy all the way up to adventure. Economy is just going to be your basic plan. Okay? But if you've got somebody who is going to go rock climbing or rappelling or skydiving or base jumping or cliff diving or something like that, you are going to want to suggest the adventure policy. And I'm going to show you guys why. Okay? There are 3 different insurance companies within TinLeg that underwrite these policies: Berkshire Hathaway, Star Indemnity and Liability Company, and Spinnaker Insurance Company. All of these are A- rated to A++ rated. Okay? I myself try to book Berkshire Hathaway because they're the absolute best in travel insurance, in my opinion. Okay? We're going to scroll down. You can see what is included in every single policy. Okay? Cancellation for COVID-19. Included. Okay? Your clients get COVID, they have to cancel, it's included. They get their money back. Full cost of the trip. Trip cancellation, 100%. Across the board. If the trip gets interrupted for any reason, hurricane, fires, floods, civil disturbance, they get 150% of the amount back. Okay? In most cases, there's only one policy where they only get they get the full amount back of $3,900. I'll get to delays in a minute, Sydney. There's hurricane and weather policies. Okay, so you got to look at this. Some are for 48 hours. So if there was a delay by 48 hours for a hurricane or other severe weather, like I live here in the Midwest and an airport could be shut down for 3 or 4 days, like Denver or Chicago, before my client could get out, they would get covered. Okay? But this policy here, common carrier delay for any length of time, same here, must be purchased before the storm is named. That is key. Okay? 24-hour delay, 48, and any length of time. Terrorism, covered, foreign and domestic, foreign only, foreign and domestic, no coverage. Okay, so this is the basic policy here. Foreign and domestic, no coverage, foreign and domestic. Financial default. What that means is if your client has to declare bankruptcy, if they purchase, they're covered after a 14-day wait period. If they purchase the insurance within 14 days, so by 9/24/20, there's no coverage here. There is coverage here, and here. The rest of the policies, no coverage. Employment layoff. So if they get laid off from their job and they can't go on their trip, if they've been employed for 3 continuous years, okay, they'll get coverage. It's covered after a 30-day wait if they've been employed for 3 continuous years. Okay, no wait here, no wait for 1 continuous year here, no coverage, 1 year here. Cancel for any medical reason or cancel for medical reasons. So again, if your client gets hurt in a car accident or has a life-threatening illness or injury like I had 2 years ago, okay, it's included in the trip cancellation and interruption. Here, and here. Cancel for work reasons. There's no coverage. But it is covered here 100% if the plan is purchased by 9/25. Again, here by 9/24 and here by 9/24. Right down here, This is where your cancel for any reason policies come into play. And these are called riders to the policy. And what these riders are is these are add-ons to the policy. Okay. So the cancel for any reason insurance is separate from trip cancellation. So if the trip was canceled by the supplier, then that would be covered. But if your client has to cancel it for any reason, on this policy here, they would get 75% of the trip costs back. So it's not a 100% back, but it is 75% back. $20,000 maximum, and it's $113 upgrade. Here, it's 50% back for $217 upgrade, 50% back for an $89.83 upgrade, and 50% back up to for a $148 upgrade. Okay, and you've got to look at these purchase by dates as well. So make sure you're letting your clients know about this information if they're looking for the cancel for any reason insurance. So make sure that you are looking at this part of the information down here. The medical coverage goes into here. There is additional funds for emergency medical if you want to increase the emergency medical. It's up to $60,000 on this policy. It's a $4 upgrade, and up to $200,000 versus $100,000 per person, and it's primary coverage. So for an additional $4, that to me is a no-brainer. I would buy that in a heartbeat. But you can see, like this one provides $500,000 per person, $100,000 per person, $20,000, $250,000, $50,000, and $100,000. So let's just say you have a elderly couple going on this trip, okay? And they may be prone to something medically happening to them. You may want to consider getting a higher emergency medical coverage policy for them, just in case something were to happen. If they had to get treated in a foreign country, such as the Dominican Republic or Mexico or wherever they're going. So just something to think about when you're sending this policy information to your clients. This also is important. Okay, so if they have pre-existing conditions, okay, and they have been treated for those pre-existing conditions within the last 6 months or 180 days, as long as in many of these policies that I'm looking at right now, those pre-existing conditions will be covered as long as they purchase their policies within 14 or 15 days, depending on the policy, of the initial trip booking date. Okay? So what I mean by that is if somebody has high blood pressure and their doctor says that they could be at risk for a stroke from that high blood pressure, and they end up having a stroke while on vacation, but they purchased the policy on, say, 9/20, and they're hospitalized, the medical insurance on the travel insurance policy would cover the cost of the medical care in the foreign country due to it being a covered pre-existing condition, as long as it was determined that the high blood pressure caused the stroke. Okay? Does that part make sense to everyone? Perfect. There is no medical deductible on any of these. Your clients do not have to pay out of pocket. Okay? which is great. Medical evacuation and repatriation. Medical evacuation is self-explanatory. If they have to get evacuated from a foreign country to a suitable U.S. hospital, this coverage takes care of it. So if they have to be airlifted from a cruise ship by the Coast Guard and brought back to, say, Miami or Fort Lauderdale or somewhere like that, this insurance would cover it. Okay? And those airlifts and those medical transports can be very, very expensive, especially if you're in the middle of an ocean. There are a couple of add-ons right here. This policy, you can double it for $1. Same thing with this one. Okay. This one has $1 million in coverage. This one also has $1 million in coverage. Somebody was asking about delays. There is an extension of coverage. So if you get sick and have to extend your coverage past your return date and you are still in the hospital, you can extend your coverage based on this information right here. Travel delay, okay? Up to $500 per person on this one. $150 daily limit, covered after a 6-hour delay. Again, covered after a 6-hour delay, 6 hours, 6 hours. This one is covered after 12 hours, 6 hours, 6 hours, and 5 hours on this one. Okay. Baggage delay. $200 limit per person in most cases. Covered after a 24-hour delay in most cases. Here, 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 here. This policy has a $500 per person baggage delay, $100 daily limit covered after an 8-hour delay. So if your luggage has not arrived at the hotel or wherever you're staying after 8 hours, you can file a claim on that. And you would be reimbursed $100 per day. This one's only $200 per person flat. And this one's $200 per person covered after a 12-hour delay. If the airline loses your luggage, here's your coverages, same system. If you miss a connection due to your airline. Now remember, there are things that your airline has to do for you as well, okay? But you can get additional compensation from your insurance due to missed connections due to an airline issue. And it has to be an airline issue. It cannot be that you are lollygagging around in the bar or in a restaurant. Okay? You have to have proof that it was an airline issue that made you miss your connection. But here, they cover it after a 3-hour delay, 6-hour delay. There's no coverage on this policy or this policy. 3-hour delay, 3-hour delay, 12-hour delay, and 3-hour delay. Accidental death, that's covered under in case an aircraft goes down. That's what that coverage is. There's flight only AD&D. So if your trip only includes flights, you can get this upgraded. If your clients are traveling with sporting equipment, all the information is right here. It's usually covered under the baggage and personal item loss and delays. In many cases, there is no coverage for sports equipment delay. Sports fees are included in cancellation and trip interruption. And then there are other benefits. You get a free look up to 10 to 15 days at the policy. So your clients can look at the policy after purchasing for up to 10 to 15 days, depending on the insurance company that it is purchased through. And if they decide not to go with it, then they can cancel the policy and get their money back. I have never had that happen on a policy, though. There's 24-hour assistance, and there is no coverage for rental car damage. So your car insurance usually is going to cover that, though. To send a quote. So let's say your clients wanted to go with the 10-leg silver. Okay. All you simply have to do is click on the email quote button just right here under the buy now. Click on email quote. Put your name and their email address, and then click on add another email address and put your email address and make sure you get a copy of the quote as well. And you can email them multiple quotes like that. Okay. Or you can simply send them your agent link. It's that simple, guys. A 10-leg policy takes about 15 minutes to quote and sell, in my opinion, and it's easy money. I always take a look at the quotes. I always take into consideration what my clients are doing for excursions. And when I am booking these, or when I am selling these policies to my clients, I suggest 2 or 3 that I think would work best for them. And then I send them those options, and then I talk to them about what I think is best for them. Diana, all you have to do is copy and paste this link right down here, the one that says agent link. Or you can just right click it, copy a link address, and send it in an email to them. And they can make their own quote, and it would be linked to you. And if they purchase a policy, you would get an email saying you did. You sold a policy. You would need to enter that information into your commission tracking form under active insurance for a commission tracking form. Does anybody have any questions about 10-leg? And feel free to unmute yourselves, guys, if you do have questions.
Really quick, did you say that the latest they could get a policy was before 14 days of the trip?
Up to 14 days prior to the trip, yes.
Okay, thank you. That's what I meant.
But the sooner that they get the policy, the better, especially with that pre-existing condition waiver that is in there. That's why I try to get all of my clients to go ahead and purchase the insurance right away.
Okay, thank you.
For to sign with 10-leg, is that like signing to any supplier? So we don't pay for it, we just sign in?
Correct. All of our suppliers are free to us to use.
Okay.
So we don't have to pay anything for any of our suppliers to use them and to sell their products.
You were saying about the commission tracking form. So do we also have to do a credit card authorization?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Anytime you are using the client's credit card, even if they're selling it or they are purchasing it themselves, it is still a good idea to do a credit card authorization form just to cover yourself as well as your commission. That I've been told by Jose at the office, because you want to protect your commission in case something does come back and they say that it was a fraudulent charge or something like that. You want to be able to protect yourself as well. And remember, with those credit card authorization forms, you have to keep them for 6 months after the date of return.
So before we send them the link, then we need that credit card authorization form?
I'm sorry?
So before we send them the link, so they can check it out what they wanna purchase in 10-leg, and do we need credit authorization form from
No,
them for
no.
that?
No, send them the credit card authorization form after you have received the email stating that they purchased a policy from you.
Oh yeah, because well, I haven't done any purchase. That's why I have this question. So
Yeah, no, send
they
them the credit
already
card
will have it.
authorization form after they have purchased the policy, because they have already purchased the policy, but just tell them that you need it for your record since it was on your account, your agent account.
Oh, I thought we would have it because the trip on
No,
file.
anytime, even though they did it themselves, you still want to send them that credit card authorization form just to have for your records. Because even though they did it themselves using your agent link, and this is the same with any of our affiliate links, you still want to have that record.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Shamina, what's your question?
Hey there. I'm driving, so I can't lower my hand yet, but thank you. I have a few quick questions. I just want to confirm a few things. So first of all, let's say, you booked a hotel for 6 days or even a cruise all the way for next year. Let's say like September of next year. I'm just making things up.
Yep.
And then let's say, you don't buy anything, insurance or anything. And then, closer to like August, it's still a month away. You go ahead and you buy excursions on Viator and you buy flights direct. And then after all that, if it's still 14 days ahead, or let's say 15 days ahead, I can put in the entire amount, including taxes and fees for every single thing, and click the very first date that I booked the very first thing, whether it be whatever it was, the very first thing, that's the date that I put in for the very first date booked.
Correct.
And pick my policy from there.
Correct. Now, the
Okay.
policy won't go in force until it is actually purchased.
Right.
So
Right.
they would not be covered under the pre-existing condition waiver because
Okay.
of
Right.
when the policy was, when the trip was first booked, would be months behind that.
Okay, I understand that. And I love that. I mean, I had no idea anything would cover literally even one little thing. So that's awesome.
Yep.
And I know you literally went through everything. I didn't hear or see, but I'm driving, so I didn't see anything. But is there cancel? Does any of the policies, do like cancel for any reason?
Yes. When you scroll down and look at the policies, it's going to be an additional add-on or rider to the policy. It's going to be an upgrade that's going to give you that option. The upgrade costs range anywhere from, I've seen $100 up to $400, depending on the policy and the trip type.
That's
depending
awesome.
on the insurance company.
That's awesome. So they have the option to add it on for any reason, and they know they'll get the entire, if that's in, whatever the thing is.
It will not be the entire amount. It will either be 50% or 75%, depending on the insurance company.
And that's specified in whatever they choose, no
Correct.
matter what.
Correct.
Okay. And then last question. Thank you so much. Last question is, well, you already answered one. I was going to ask, can you only pick and choose certain ones? And you showed how to send them individually. So I love that. So when you send your link, are you sending a link for them to view all, or
Yes.
are you able to send them a link just for like the one that they chose and they can book it on their own?
You can do either or. So you can send them your full agent link and they can run the quote themselves and get the same information that I was showing.
Yep.
Or you can run the quote for them, pick and choose for them, and send them 2 to 3 links for those 2 to 3 policies that you liked and thought would be best for their needs. And then they could choose from those.
I love it. I love it so much. Awesome. Thank you so much for everything. And I can lower my hand. I'm at a red light.
Yep, I already took care of it.
And what do you I know they're paying, okay, I'm going to throw one out there also. They're paying $6,000 for a cruise. And I'm seeing all the different, what do you suggest? Because I don't know if they want to pay more, if they want to pay the cheapest. So do you send them like 3 quotes, like big, small, and medium?
What I do is I base it off of the ages,
Ages.
the number of
Okay.
people going, any excursions booked, and I talk to them. This is part of qualifying my clients too, is I talk to them about what kind of excursions they're looking at doing while they're in port if it's a cruise, or while they're at their resort, or if I'm booking excursions for them. So I base it off of all of those factors.
Okay. So you don't go by price. You're going by
No,
what
no.
they're doing. Okay.
No, I base it
Mhm.
off of a lot of different things. And my dad's been in the insurance business for over 50 years.
Yes.
So I've been exposed to this a lot. So I base all of my information and all of my decisions and recommendations off of what my clients are telling me, what they're looking for in their trip, how active they're going to be, the ages of who's going. So
makes
it's not solely based on price.
Okay, that makes more sense though. It does. Okay.
Sheila, to answer your question, if they're visiting multiple countries, then you just have to select one country that they're visiting. That's all Tin Leg requires. So you don't have to select multiple. And then Diana, yes, anytime you are booking anything for your clients, you need to fill out a credit card authorization form. So it doesn't matter if they're doing it on your affiliate link or if you're doing it for them. It is a requirement that you fill out a credit card authorization form.
Mark, thank you. I do get that, but I guess my question is, it sounded like we almost needed them to do it twice. So if they're, oh,
Because
okay,
it's 2 different suppliers.
I see.
So you
Okay,
need to do it for each supplier that you are booking
okay,
with. So if you are booking with, let's just say Project Expedition, Fun Jet, Lomas Travel for transfers, and then Tin Leg, you'd have to fill out 4 credit card authorization forms, 1 for each supplier, because you'd have 4 separate charges for those suppliers.
thank you.
I
Makes
also have another question. Okay, so me and my boyfriend are leaving on a trip. We're not married. I'm gonna purchase the Tin Leg for me and him, but do I need but even though we're paying separate, do I still need to get a even though I'm paying for the Tin Leg, do I still need to get a credit card authorization for him also, or just for me because I'm paying for the for
Yes.
both of us?
Yes. Even if you are paying, okay, and this brings up a good point, guys. So even if you're going on your own trips, still fill out a credit card authorization form, because if in case, even though it's your card,
Yes.
if in case your bank or your credit card company says there's something fishy going on and throws a fraud alert out there, and you need Archer's help to fight it, you still have to have that credit card authorization form and everything completely filled out in order for them to help you fight it.
Okay.
So even if it's your own trip, you're paying for everything, still fill out a credit card authorization form, even if it's for yourself.
Even for him also?
If he's paying for anything, yes.
I'm just gonna say he's not gonna pay for it, but I'm gonna pay for our insurance.
Right. Let's say you're paying for the insurance, but he's paying for the hotel.
Yeah.
You still have to fill out the credit card authorization form, or he has to fill out and sign the credit card authorization form for the hotel, because he is technically your client.
Yeah, it's true. Okay.
Yeah, Josette, whoever paid for whatever it is must fill out their own credit card form, right? Because that card and that license must match the person who paid. So if he's paying for one thing and you're paying for one thing, those are 2 separate charges, right?
Okay.
Correct.
Right, you got it.
Okay.
Okay. So Shailene asked if my client booked a cruise and we fill out the insurance and buy it, but then they add excursions after it's bought. Would the already bought insurance cover those? Shaylin, that's a great question. No, it would not. So, because it's going to make the amount of the insurance higher. So what you need to do in that case is go into that policy, modify the trip price, and then your client will have to pay an additional premium for that policy. And you would just have to fill out another credit card authorization form for that additional amount of the premium. It may just raise the policy by $20 or $30. But in order for those excursions to get covered as well, then you would need to modify that policy. Does that make sense? Yeah, no problem. What other questions do you guys have?
No, thank you. I appreciate you. I really do.
Not a
This is
problem.
an amazing training. Thank you so much, Mark. I'm hopping off for the next call,
Yes.
but you're
Yep.
amazing. Thank you so much.
Not a problem, guys. I did put my YouTube channel into the chat. It's youtube.com/@72 and sunny travel. So you guys can find all of my trainings there. Again, next week will be tips for your clients, and then the following week will be the Marriott World Center, Orlando World Center, at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern. You don't want to miss that training. But again, my name is Mark Krebs. I'm a gold qualified consultant with Team Sunset, part of Team Empire, Team World Explorer, and Team Rising Tide. Thank you guys very much for coming in tonight. I appreciate it. And you guys have a great rest of your night.
Mark, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Well, not about Tin Leg, though. I want to ask about other stuff. 'Cause you
Yeah, give me
seem
1
smart.
second here.